Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 444. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It is another beautiful September day. We have blue skies and sunshine and white clouds and warm temperatures. An amazing weekend ahead. So I hope that you are going to find some time to get out and enjoy this fall weather if you are also in the Midwest. Okay, numbers. We're going to talk a little bit about numbers today, the magic of angel numbers. And I trust that if you are called to watch this and if the number is what brings you into this awareness, then there is some beautiful gift that is waiting for you, because that is how numbers play in my journey. They show up, the angel numbers, as I call them, 111, 222, 333, and this episode, 444. Those numbers show up in moments where I need the validation, or I am a little wobbly and not quite sure if I'm on my path, and I'll wake up at 4:44 in the morning and roll over and look at the clock, and there's just that instant, everything is fine. I see 4:44, especially in the afternoon. For some reason, I always seem to be walking by the clock or my phone. I'll look down at my phone and the numbers will pop up. For some people, it's a different sequence of numbers. For me, it's the 3 in a row that are really significant, 4 in a row. So I thought I would go back through the old podcast titles and give you a little Hansel and Gretel trail of breadcrumbs through the beauty that is this library of Gaia's Love podcasts. Episode 111, I wrote the titles down. 111 was called Fire of Time. It was about a song that is by David Ramirez that I love. So that might be a fun one to go back and listen to. Episode 222 was I Am Light, the song by India Ari, and how that plays in my journey. Number 333 was about honoring the process. You'll have to listen to that one. And then 444 today is pure frequency. And so these are the breadcrumbs of angel numbers. If you feel doubt or aren't sure that this is the path you're supposed to be on, or this is the person that you're supposed to be connecting with, or this is the thing that you're supposed to be doing, and you just want some guidance, I've anchored in vibrations, frequencies into each of those angel numbers, those episodes. And so you'll be able to go and sit in that frequency and receive the guidance, receive the validation. Not me giving it to you, but me tuning into the frequency, and then you finding the match to that frequency and showing up in the same vibration. And you'll get exactly what it is that you're looking for. So those might be some fun episodes to go back and play with. The other magical alignment for me personally is that today is my friend Leslie's birthday, and she transitioned 2 years ago. I made a podcast episode right as I was in the midst of grieving the loss. It was sudden, unexpected. Episode number 360 is called Say What You Need to Say. And it's a podcast that is about my friendship with this beautiful human that was not here long enough for me, but definitely fulfilled so much in her short time of being on this planet. So if you are looking for some fun ways to play with energy to expand what it is that we're going to open in this time together in this episode, those might be some good placeholders for you to go back and, tune into. I love, by the way, that I'm doing episode 444 on Leslie's birthday, and we're talking about pure frequency. So I think the bigger picture in my world, in my journey of alignment, is almost impossible for me to capture or to describe. I hadn't realized as I was getting closer to this number. I mean, numbers are a very big placeholder for me. I hadn't realized as I was getting into the 430s and the 440 episodes that we would land on 444 on her birthday. And when I realized that, it was just one of those magical full body flushes of emotion where you're just like, oh, of course, of course. When else would that happen? So today I found myself in my meditation starting to kind of look ahead, like, okay, if I do 50 episodes a year, what date will it be when I hit 555? My mind was like, 2 more years, who knows? Like Christmas? I don't even know. So I'm trying to not go ahead, but just be fully here in the magic of episode 444 being today. All right, you may be able to hear in my throat that there is definitely a little bit of a rawness. I have found, well, here's how numbers bring us the magic, right? I knew this episode was going to be today, and last week on Friday I talked about the end of an era, and then on Sunday I had our Being with Viv meditation, which was all about light frequency coming into the body and just rinsing, clearing, realigning us with Gaia in a way that is so powerful and so amazing. And I had reflections back that it was exactly what everybody needed to hear that day, that it was, my one friend said it was next level. And I could feel that as I was holding and channeling the frequency of the meditation. So I will put that link in the description if you want some support or want to move through clearing some energy. That recording is a powerful one to go back to. So that was on Sunday. And then on Monday, I had a session with my friend, my beautiful friend Lucy in Amsterdam, which we haven't done one in a month and a half. Things have been really busy with school starting. So we get on the call, and Lucy always holds my feet to the fire. And we started talking about this energy of fear that I could feel that I was holding in my throat. And she guided me through this energy process. It was so beautiful of actually being able to step into the fear, to go into that, energy that felt so distasteful to me within myself, and be in it and to see what would happen. And it was all in my throat. And so we had this amazing, amazing energy session, and it was so beautiful. And then, as I always say, energy first, physical after that. The energy shifted, and then my throat started making all these funny sounds over the last few days, and a little bit of mucus clearing, which is exactly what that fear energy looked like to me. All of this stuff has been happening in my throat and in my voice. My ears have been popping. The easy answer, right, is to say, oh, you have a cold. That's not what this feels like. This feels like something has been stuck in my throat for a long time and is starting to release, is starting to create more movement. I've also been in this incredible masterclass by Melanie Ann Lair talking about frequency, about energy and emotions, and how manifestation comes from our ability to really be in our best frequency and expand that, and then to be comfortable sitting in our uncomfortable frequencies and being in them. And that knowing when to expand the good one and when to just be in the one that's feeling rough or challenging or difficult or overwhelming, that's a mastery of its own. And so I've spent some time this week sitting in the frequency that I've been feeling, which has been pretty uncomfortable. Not in a way of I have to force it or make it change or make it be something else. It's just literally sitting in the frequency of, oh, there's a lot here. There's a lot here, and I'll be in it until it's no longer here, and then it will be something different. And so trying to force it or change it to be something else doesn't work. It's like pushing against a mountain. You can't move the mountain. So you just sit at the base of the mountain, and when you have the energy, this is maybe an interesting visual, when you have the energy, you can climb up that mountain and slide down the other side, and you've moved through it, or you've moved around it, or you've maybe found dynamite and you've blown it up. That feels like effort. That doesn't feel right. There's a wasted effort when we are pushing against something that we know isn't in our best good. And so when we can learn to surrender and be in those uncomfortable places and just feel whatever it is that we're feeling, eventually it shifts. It transmutes into something different. It moves and it becomes flow again. And when it becomes flow and we are just carried by the current, all that energy that we didn't waste pushing against the mountain, all of that reserves carries us, and the momentum expands as we flow down the river. It's like a marathon runner. When you are just going all the time and you just keep pushing and moving and forcing your body, maybe you get that little last burst of energy at the end to get to the finish line, but you've depleted so much running to get there that after you get to the finish line, you're just going to collapse. A lot of people I know, at least, have gotten very sick after pushing their body to that extreme because there's no reserves left. Their bodies are absolutely depleted. They hit the goal, but they're depleted. There's nothing left to keep them going. And so the image of you just surrender and you are in whatever the emotions and the energetics are, and you're carried through whatever that phase is. And then when you feel the shift, when you feel the alignment, when you feel the magic starting to move again, you have all this energy available to you because you haven't been paddling upstream the whole time. And so then you can apply that energy reserves that's been waiting into expanding the thing that feels so good, the current that seems to be carrying you in the direction you want to go. And you take all of those reserves and you're like, and all this stuff starts to get done so fast, so quickly. And so you're matching the frequency that is a higher vibration, and you're allowing it to take you into the next higher vibration. So that's what I've been doing this week. I laid in the sunshine again. Didn't we just talk about this? Like just a week ago or 2 weeks ago? It was just last week, wasn't it? Where I had to lay in the sunshine. I really probably need a house at a beach so that when I need to lay in the sunshine, I can like fly down there and like lay in the sunshine, because we're about to head into winter here, and winter is not super sunny in Ohio. I guess it's not too bad, but it certainly isn't as good as the summertime. Yeah, there's been a slowing down, a preparation I've been feeling. And even as I'm saying this out loud to you, I can hear myself going, didn't you just say it was the end of an energetic? Well, when an energetic ends, there's a recalibration that has to happen. There's a shift. There's a restabilizing that needs to happen inside of the human experience to match whatever the new energetic is going to be. So if there was an end to something, then my body must have had a need to release the old frequency, the old energy, and align with whatever the new one is going to be, or the upgrade or the up level will be. I say all of that knowing I'm always just figuring it out. And sometimes I'm playing catch up on my own journey. I'm in it, and I'm aware that things are happening, and I'm aware that the energies are shifting, and I can see all of it. And also I'm living my life and doing dishes and making dinners and running errands. And so we don't always remember to tap into that bigger awareness. What I love so much about this podcast space is that it's my own journey of awareness that I keep getting called back to. As I sit here with the video camera and tell you these stories, I know I'm receiving the awareness myself as I'm sharing. which is the best part, right, of community and connection and these cool things we get to do with video cameras and computers and TV screens and microphones and telephones. All of these wires and cords of energy that connect us with other humans. And when we know that's what's happening, we can have this kind of a conversation where I can sit and look at this camera knowing that you're on the other end of that. And I can go, oh, here's what I am starting to realize. And as I say it out loud to myself and to you, I'm realizing this other piece and this other piece, and then they all come together. Wow, right? How did I not realize all of that was going on? Because I was living it. Because I was in it. I was in the day-to-day. And so I've created for myself this beautiful container that allows me the luxury of sharing my journey and having my own ahas, knowing it's bringing up an aha and awareness for you. And that as I name what I'm feeling in my body, it allows you to be fully present with your body. And as I talk about concepts like angel numbers and frequencies and energetics and endings and eras, you get to have whatever that pops awake in your awareness land more firmly in you. It's truly remarkable. I think about in the olden times, centuries, thousands of years, we would gather around a fire. We would all eat our meal together, and when I say all, it was probably small groups, right? Small groups of 10, 20 in a family or a neighborhood. Maybe if we have a whole tribe, we might have 50, 100, a couple hundred. But you can't hear the person who's speaking very well if you're at the back of a group of a couple hundred people. And so the power of our words and our stories being able to spread was a small contained space. And now look, I can sit here with no physical person around me. I know I have beings, energies like everywhere because my ears just like ring. So I can feel all of the beings of energy that are around. No physical humans, but I can create this magic. I can tune into the power of the number 444 and land on that frequency, that vibration of connection, and I can like pluck it and go 444, and so this energy, this current, goes into the video camera, goes with my voice and all the digital pixels and information, and it anchors it all in. And then I connect it to whatever platforms, applications I choose to send it out on, whatever broadcast stations I use. And that little nugget of frequency goes and waits until someone, you, decides to open the frequency. And then whoosh, this amazing experience arrives, full sensory, because everything that I am anchoring into this frequency goes with it. So the feelings in my body, the joy in my throat, that's actually what's been clearing, right? Fear out, there's more room for the joy to expand. But that's a higher frequency. And so my throat is like, I don't know. Like, can I actually put words to what's moving energetically in my throat? I don't know, but I try. I do my best. And so the joy and the expansiveness, I think of all that I've been hearing and seeing in the master classes, for example, with Melanie and Lair, all of this high vibrational energy coming into my ears and my eyes and then landing down here at the base of my throat, merging with this new opening of joy, this new awareness, this frequency that like anything is possible. Anything is possible. And when I attune to it, it's available to me and I can receive it. I can give it and I can receive it. And it'll come into my body as pure frequency and shift everything. All of that is anchored into this file that isn't that so funny? This file, digital file. It's got a little series of codes and numbers. It uploads and it downloads. I adjust the volume, I do these things, and then there's like this other upgraded file in a new format. I mean, how ridiculous is it when you say it out loud? But it's how we package a frequency. It's how we take a frequency and we put it into something that can be stored, shared, expressly sent. Like, we can do all these things with this file. But when it opens in whatever your platforms are that you use, and you hear it through the audios, or you see it through the videos, or you do both, everything that I have been experiencing that informs this frequency that I emit to you, you receive if you choose. So you can open it and you can lean back and you can go, wow, just like I've been doing with the master classes. Like, oh, wow, yeah, I feel that. And you start to receive the energy, the frequency in your body, and it's moving through and it's doing stuff to your throat and it's popping your ears and it's making your eyes cry. And like your hands, your arms, chills on the hairs of your arms, like all these things are happening in your body. Your feet want to stand up and start dancing. Like all this stuff is shifting. And then you recalibrate to that. Your whole system has received an upgrade, an up level, a shift, a something, a releasing. And so your whole system has to readjust to that. So you plant your feet, you run energy through your body, all the things that I show people to do, everything people have that they know how to do. Like, we do these things to embody the higher frequency. And the better we get at it, the more stable we are in these upgrades, the more we magnetize these upgrades towards us. The faster they start to come. The more exciting they feel as they arrive in our body. The more clearing we do to receive the new. And then we got to stabilize again, lay in the sunshine. Journal, write, all the things. Calling our friends who can guide us through releasing. Hire coaches. We do all the things. What is so amazing to me, I guess this is the biggest integration I could offer that I've learned. We're always going to keep evolving if that's what we choose to focus on, which is what I choose to focus on. We're always going to keep learning. We're always going to keep attracting and magnetizing these frequencies towards us. The best part of it is when we enjoy the journey, when we are in the magic and the delight of it, when we know we're in the process of something shifting. Like last week, you do all the things right. You do all the things that you know you're supposed to do, and then the results aren't what you expect. And so I could go into deep despair and suffer and talk about how awful the thing was that I didn't get right? And so you expand that. Or you just pause. You go, okay, there's a frequency shift happening. There's something going on. I am ready for something to be expanding or up-leveling because all of this is happening in my body. It's like me with this throat thing. Oh no, I have a cold. Oh my goodness, I need to quarantine, isolate, do all the things. Right? We have these beliefs of what it could be. Instead of going, wow, my throat. I can hear it in like the sounds coming out of my mouth. I can hear the shift in this whole throat chakra. Okay, I'm going to be with this. I'm going to go lay down, or I'm going to just rest and slow down and allow space for all of these pieces to be put together. I'm going to show up even with a scratchy throat and share what is happening and allow myself to hear out loud how all of this weaves and creates the most incredible next thing for me. And because I'm allowing space for that, I can be aware of it. And as I hear myself say it to you, I can just feel the magic of all the things that are happening. And then that allows my throat to relax, right, to surrender into the process and go, wow, what grace is this journey? I mean, just the magic. This, I can't even tell you the delight I have, the pure delight I have in talking about all of this, in talking about the number 444 on Leslie's birthday. I don't even know how to put words to it. I could not have created a more magical honoring of my friend than that. And I'm here doing it, in it, sharing it with you and feeling like, what is the miracle of this life? And really, what is the most important elements in my life? What are the gifts that I'm so grateful for? And how do I allow myself to be more present for those? That's enjoying the journey. It's just being in the miracle of each moment. And sometimes not even having the words to try to explain it to anybody. You just can feel the frequency of it. Like, oh, wow. How did that happen? And 2 years ago on her birthday, I was just sobbing. I was in the absolute pain of the ending of the story, of that specific story. What I didn't know at the time was how the story was just shifting. I knew because I know energy and I understand the cycles of life and death in a way that feels very comforting to me. So I knew we were just shifting into a new story. But now here I am 2 years later, and she has been playing with me nonstop for the last 2 years, all the time, and guiding me and holding steady and just bringing these beautiful little synchronicities again and again and again. And I just am so deeply grateful. The frequencies, just like what I was describing when I said there was the end of an energetic last week, and so we're up-leveling, we're shifting into something new, and we don't always know what that new shift will look like or what that new frequency will feel like. We just know we're in the process. Sometimes we don't even know we're in the process. We realize later we're in the process of shifting to that different frequency. And it's the same like what I'm describing with my friend Leslie. I knew there was going to be a new way to communicate with her. I knew there would be a new understanding of the frequency. But in the moment of living it, I didn't know what it would become or what it would feel like. I just knew it would be something. When we're going through a transformation, when we are, I think the whole collective right now, we're all going through a shift of an energetic because an energetic ended last week. And so we are moving into something new. And we don't always know what that will look like or how we will be able to understand it or translate it or integrate it. We know it's shifting, but we don't know how to work with it yet. We just know there's something that will be there. I hope we know there's something that will be there. And so part of enjoying the journey is trusting that it's going to be fun to learn how to play with the new energetics, that they're going to be better than the old one. This is what every parent, I believe, wishes for their child, is that their generation will have a life that is 10 million times better than our generation had, which is 10 million times better than what our parents' generation had. I believe we always want those who come after us to have more happiness, more joy, more abundance, more ease, more grace, more of all the good. Sometimes that brings challenges and learning with it, and so it feels like we're being upgraded maybe into a punishment or upgraded into something that's going to be more struggle. But I don't believe that is what is happening anymore. I believe every time there's a shift in the frequency, we're releasing more of the old and we're moving into more of the good. And I believe angel numbers anchor that in for us. I believe when we see those numbers, whether it's on license plates or clocks or phones or books, wherever, when you see those numbers, it's like really tickling. When you see those numbers, it brings this calm into our system. And I feel like it's our guides, our higher self, our soul saying to us, everything's good. It's all getting better. You're in alignment. Just keep moving forward. Or maybe just sit still and surrender for a little while. Maybe go lay on a float in the pool. But the frequency is going to carry us into something that will be amazing. And so can we trust that? Can we enjoy the journey and trust the journey as we are in it? And that sometimes can be really hard. So here's this little powerful vibration anchored into a digital file, transmitted through technology to whatever platform you receive it in. So when it opens up in your awareness, you can receive all of this love and joy from me that says trust. Trust and enjoy the journey. It is pure magic, pure amazingness. And if you can allow yourself to hold on to the belief that I'm transmitting to you, you will be absolutely astounded at all that is arriving for you next, that you are creating, that you are calling in. And this number 444 and this vibration I'm sending to you is just a reminder. It's just a little tap. Say it's okay. Everything's okay. Better than okay. And you just need to keep steady. Keep steady. So pure frequency. What do we want to say about that? I guess the last little nuggets that I'd want to offer to you. When I think of the word frequency, I think of like a electrical current that is just one steady stream that doesn't have anything pulling or twisting it in different directions. It's just like a direct current. So when I think of pure frequency, it's just from the angels to God or source, from light to light. It's just pure frequency. There's no distortions, there's no interruptions, there's no moving it jagged or crooked. It's just direct. And I believe angel numbers hold that direct connection, that pure energetic alignment from our soul to consciousness, angels, one soul, whatever words you want to use, whatever feels right to put in there. It's like a direct connection. And when we are in human bodies, we are frequency, but I feel like we have a whole bunch of distortions, a whole bunch of, it's just not distortions. We have a lot of layers on top of the frequency. There's a lot of density on top of it. Ego, mind, body. And when all of this density is on top of that pure frequency, sometimes we can't calibrate fully to that pure frequency. We just struggle and push against. And I do this all the time. So this is not me telling you I live in pure frequency. I do not. But I know what it feels like when I touch it. And it's magic. It's absolute magic. And so that is what I want to share, are a couple of moments of the magic. But I feel like naming first that it's more common for us to feel dense and disconnected from that pure frequency than it is to feel the magic all the time. And my intention is to move more and more into pure frequency, to be in alignment with that as often as possible, because that's where we expand the good, as Melanie and Lara was saying. She's like, when you're having a sad day, be in the sadness, and when you're in the good, expand the good. And so that's what I'm talking about here. So Yeah, I want to share a story about my uncle. And I just shared this with his wife at the family reunion over the summer. He died 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was my favorite uncle and lived a very full, amazing, beautiful life. Lots of love, hardworking, community guy, went to church. Like he was just in a really good human experience. Even with the struggle, like he was living a very good life, a full life. And so we knew that he was starting to get close to the end. And it's my dad's brother-in-law, my dad's sister's wife. And so my dad had sent out a message and he said, everyone's in town. They live about 5 hours from here. Everyone was there in town. All of his family was around. And he said, it's going to happen. We just don't know when. And so just send your prayers and your love. And I was here, and I have a different interpretation on death than many people, at least in my family, I think. And so I was, that was like on a Thursday that we got that email. I thought, okay, I'm just going to send love. He knows. They all know. So I was at my computer on Saturday morning that week, just working, and I had my music playing on my little Spotify thing. And I was just deep in thought, not thinking about my uncle, deep in thought. And I was just sitting at my computer, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoosh, just this, when you have that shiver up your spine, you're like, whoa, full attention. There's an energetic that is shifting right now. What is happening? And so I stopped. And as I stopped, the song by Donna Delore started to play. Beautiful song, Thy Will Be Done. And so I sat at my desk and I put my hands in prayer position, and I could just feel all this emotion running through my body, and I started to cry. And I was remembering like all the moments that I had with this beautiful man and just how much I loved him. And I was sitting there at the desk, just waves of emotion just flooding through me. And as I was sitting there with my hands in prayer position with my eyes closed, just feeling the frequency, singing the song. The song has this part where it gets higher and higher, and she hits this super high note that to me just feels like God and the angels and the universe just in pure harmony for one brief second. Enjoy. And then she brings the energy back down. And I knew in that moment, I was like, and I was singing to him as I was singing. It was almost like I was saying to him, like, follow the energy, like you've got this, you know how to do this. And right as it started to come back down, I could feel this, all this emotion move through my body. I was just sitting at my desk, just sobbing at my desk, in peace, in deep gratitude, And so a couple minutes go by, the song ends, and I'm just sitting here, and all of a sudden this buzz starts moving through my office, and I could feel the energy of my uncle. And it was like I could hear him speaking in my head, and I was like, all this energy. It was so amazing. It was joy. And I could hear in my head, and he's like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me it would feel this good? And I just remember sitting there, and I was like, you didn't ask. Like, you never wanted to talk about it. But, like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're just pure frequency right now. You're just pure consciousness. You're just, it was the most magical moment. And I was just sitting. I moved over to the couch. I was just sitting on the couch breathing, just grinning, like feeling him fill this room with all this energy. And then I was like, you have to go now. Like, you have to return to consciousness. Like, and just like that, he was gone. And I sat there for a couple minutes, and I said to myself, like, my dad's going to call in a couple minutes to let me know, but I already know. And he did. He called, and I said, yes, I know. I think he called 5 minutes after that. And I just finally got to tell my aunt about it at the reunion, and I wasn't sure how she would receive it, because It doesn't follow a lot of the religious Christian beliefs, but it was sweet. Like, it was a beautiful moment of connection that I could share with her, and she could feel it from me when I shared in person, right? The frequency is love. It's beyond love. The frequency is like oneness, unity. Like, we are absolutely all the same frequency. And yet, in the density of the human experience, we forget that. We believe we're separate. We believe this belongs to you and this belongs to me. So we don't come together. We don't activate that oneness that is at the core of all of us. But when we have those moments where it happens, I mean, our whole bodies, our whole bodies just know. They just know. After Leslie died, a few days later, it was about 5 days later, I think, I was already scheduled to go away for a weekend with my friends. And we were all together, and it was late at night on that Friday night. This music started to play. It was like this piano piece. And I hear music in restaurants and malls and rooms, where I'm out. I can always hear what song is playing, and it's like a frequency that I am constantly attuning to. And everyone was talking, but I could hear this song with this piano note. And I knew, like, oh, she's here. She's here with us. She's just playing her song and bringing her frequency into this celebration of time together that I'm having with these friends, which was even more precious, knowing that I just lost a friend. That a friend had transitioned into a new frequency. And so she brought her energy into that space and danced with us. That happens all the time. I feel frequency connecting me to other realms, to other humans, to consciousness all the time. And so numbers are a beautiful way to play with that. 444 and 333 and 111 1. Like, those are all amazing ways to play with it, but it's always all around us. And when we invite more of those moments, when we allow more of the magic to play with us, it just keeps expanding. We have more of it and more of it. And then sometimes we just want to put our hands over our ears and go under the covers and go, just stop. Like in Bruce Almighty, where he tries to just stop, God, I can't hear all these people anymore. But if what I'm offering you is true, is that this pure frequency is just all of us attuning to that same one core frequency that unites everything, then why wouldn't we want to be doing that more and more, and playing with that magic more and more, and celebrating when it happens, and inviting more of it to come in? And yeah. So that is where I am. That was like a little mouse squeak, wasn't it? I am grateful. I am just filled up with so much peace and joy and just delight in this human journey and all the miracles that continue to amaze me. So if you are watching this 444 and any of this resonates with you, then share the frequency. Share my video, share nuggets from it. Talk about numbers, magical unity, alignment with your friends, with your family. Let's allow our voices, our expressions to start to share more of this magic instead of keeping it, quiet and hidden. Yeah. That's what I've got for now. I will be back next week because we're going to continue this podcast after episode 444. We're going to go to episode 445. Then we're going to keep going. And one day in a couple years, we'll be sitting here at episode 555. And you'll go, oh my gosh, do you remember when we did episode 444? And you talked about the frequency and Leslie? And I'll go, and your uncle? I'm like, yeah. And now we're at 555. What are we going to talk about at that one? How amazing that we have a couple years of magic in between this one and that one ahead of us. And it's only just beginning. So I wish you a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in Awakening the Guides, an 8-week online self-guided journey of remembering why you chose to come play here in Gaia. You can learn more at viviennegerard.com under I Am Creativity. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.